Okay, we're live.
We are live.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Tammy. I'm the Ward 4 City Councilor. It is our spring town hall. Today we have a couple of special guests from Recreation here to talk to you guys. But let's go through the agenda. And then we want to talk about Ward 4 updates. We'll do question and answer, but pretty much it is first presentation and then question and answer right after. Okay. Let's start with our land acknowledgement. The city of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, and Haudenosaunee, and the Mississaugas. This land is covered with a dish with one spoon wampum belt covenant, where it is an agreement between the Haudenosaunee. Sorry, I have missed out on the entire line. This land is covered by the dish with one spoon wampum belt covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We further acknowledge that this land is covered by the Between the Lakes Purchase 1792 between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Today, the city of Hamilton is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so we can be better caretakers, residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers. So when I think about this, I think about how here in Ward 4, we do have a significant urban Indigenous population. So we are home to many nations. And I take this rule and I think about it. I want to learn from it some more. So I hope that we'll all take a moment to think about this land that we're on. So I want to say thank you to the team. You guys should know them. This is Jack, Pascal. Jack is running the tech. Pascal tells me what I can and cannot do, which is usually stand here and move this way. So today I am super excited to have Victoria and Leah here from Recreation. They're going to come and talk to us about recreation stuff. So everybody, can you please help me welcome Victoria and Leah?
This will be fun.
Just pin it on yourself.
And then you want to hold the big mic so that we can hear you properly.
Or they can try and talk.
I think I should be able to use my cool voice.
Yeah.
Is this good?
Can you hear me? My cool voice is pretty loud.
And I have a camp voice. How about that? That's okay? All right. Thank you, Counselor, for having us today. As she said, I'm Victoria. I'm the manager of recreation operations in Ward 4, 5, and 10.
And I'm Leah, I'm the aquatic supervisor for Stony Creek, Riverdale, and Green Acres Outdoor Pool.
Great. And we wanted to start by talking about our core memories when it comes to summer. So I'm going to ask you all in the crowd, what is a core memory you can remember or think back to of your summer that you think about when you think about summer?
Pool.
Pool.
Outdoor pool at Parkdale. Okay.
Specific to Parkdale. I love that shout out.
The original?
The original.
The original Parkdale Outdoor Pool.
Anybody else have a core memory that they can think of?
Another.
Long past Finch Park.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And more recently, the Rosedale School, or Rosedale Pool,
Amazing.
old barbecue and
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
We
Love that. Anybody else have a core memory? Or maybe something kids, grandkids?
Something you want to take them to this summer, try out something?
Mine is camp. So I grew up in Dundas. I actually live in Ward 4 though. So thank you for coming out, neighbors. My core memory is our outdoor camp out of Dundas, back when Dundas and Hamilton was split. And it was outdoors the entire time. Something I don't think this generation likes as much is going outside all of the time. But now I get to manage all of the recreation camp programs across the city. So not just for Ward 4, 5, and 10, I get to do them all. So that's my favorite part. That's my core memory of summer.
Yeah, so for me, it's Green Acres. So I live in Ward 10. And I would ride my bike from home to Green Acres and hang out at the old Green Acres pool for hours on end. So we were the pool rats because we were there every day, all the time, and having such a great time. And that is a really big memory for me. And I think, wow, we were there all day. Like, and then the tennis club is close by, and we were there all the time. So yeah, really, really fun. Yeah.
And now you work at the pools.
Yes, and
You
now
never
I
left.
I've never
Never
left.
left.
I've never left. I've been here forever. That's right.
Well, we're gonna tell you a little bit of things that we've got going on this summer in recreation. Recreation in the summer is always our busiest time, so we were amping up. So Leah's gonna start with our first one.
So we're gonna ask you, does anyone know what City of Hamilton's most recent outdoor pool was renovated in your area?
Ooh.
No, right, Catherine.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's Pagwood. Yes,
It is.
absolutely.
My
So just so you're aware, our outdoor pools are gonna open June 29th. So they'll be ready for the heat. We'll be ready to have everybody in.
More.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Sorry.
You have no presentations, you can walk.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we will open our outdoor pools June 29th, and the schedules will be up
June 18th.
June 18th. The schedules will be up online for everybody to see. You just hop on the city website and check out all the programs. And we offer like open swims. So if you have grandkids that want to come to open swims or yourself, we have length swims if you know you want to get out and do some lengths. At our outdoor pool. So it's pretty and they're so nice because you're outside. That's my favorite. I love being outside.
Parkdale Outdoor Pool actually has our only youth swim at our outdoor pools. So it was a pilot last year. It was well attended by those local youth. And we are bringing that up again. It's Friday nights and we bring a youth facilitator in to do some actual games in the pool for youth. So they don't have to bring an adult. So that's something fun. Okay, we're moving on. Should we do questions in between? You've got outdoor pool questions. Do you want to just sneak in there with those or do you want to wait till the end? Yes, I love this.
Hopefully, a quick question. Rosedale Pool has a section of time during the day where it's closed. Is that like a scheduling thing or?
It would most likely be a scheduling thing and a dinner break for staff because they're there the entire day.
Yeah.
So that is most likely what it's there
It's
for.
a-
Sometimes, because it's free, it's a good opportunity to clear out the last swim, clear them out of the change rooms and then bring new people in. Especially on our heat alert days, we make everything free in the city for our open swims, for people to cool off. So it allows more people to come in versus just staying in the pool. So public doesn't often understand that, but it is strategic. Anybody else have an outdoor pool question?
Is Rosedale the only pool that celebrate?
Rosedale and Burge.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the two free. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna move to Soupy. How old is our Hamilton staple of Soupy program turning this year? Does anybody know?
Did anybody go to CP?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
Our Soupy program? What a great question. It is like camp, but free and drop it. So we put, I'm gonna call them camp staff at local parks throughout the city. And parents, guardians can send their children there and then those staff entertain the kids for the day. So they have a Soupy box and it's one of those big park boxes full of crafts and games and they will just entertain them. So it's a Hamilton staple. Other municipalities are actually contacting us. Windsor this year is trying to build up their own program. They are. Okay, does anybody have a guess of how old our program is?
40 years.
40, okay. Since the 70s, okay. It is turning 117 this year.
Oh my
God.
117. Yes, it's amazing. 117. Does anybody know what our busiest park is? No, it's in your ward.
Montgomery?
Yeah, it's so busy, so busy, like top of the top. Every other location has 2 Soupies. That location is so busy, it's got 3. So
Oh, I see.
congrats, Ward 4, you win all of those awards.
Yeah.
So our Soupy program is back. It's gonna be at local parks throughout your ward and other areas of the city. Those parks will be listed in a couple of weeks, but there is, Cunningham, that one and Montgomery are the ones that I could pin out that will be returning this year.
They used to have it at Rosedale, I remember, well, Rosedale.
They
Pool.
probably will. Yes, I've got a list of last year's. I just don't know what they're doing this year yet. That hasn't been released, but Rosedale sounds right. So make sure you tell some people. Okay,
All right, now we're gonna talk about the indoor sites. So, has anybody been into our indoor facilities, pools, recreation centers? Which one's your favorite? What do you like?
Chimney tops.
oh,
Yeah.
Sense.
why was it your favorite? What made it your
That's
favorite?
why I learned to swim.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
I like that.
Stand learn.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful,
Yeah.
yeah, really nice and deep. Very great. What amenity do you like?
I take mine and federal grandmother there.
Okay.
Amazing.
Very successful. Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else who's our close?
My favorite is Lori. That's where I got my first job. But then Rosedale was the next second job. It was the bird bath. And I love that we have like such a funny name for it, like the bird bath.
Yes,
Because
yes.
It was just 3 feet deep and not heated.
That is very true. Yes. Yeah.
I
Okay,
do like the Boys and Girls Club.
that is also a great one.
Yeah.
Ellis, that's a good one. Amazing. Yeah, our indoor sites just continue. So
Yeah.
again, recreation, we just add more to our plates in the summer. We're fine. Call us in September. We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Yeah, so that's, if you need information about your local pool, if you're interested in getting started, you can obviously hop online, call us on the rec general phone line, and we'll help you and say, what pools are in your area, where you want to go. We would be happy to help you. Not a problem at all.
My second favorite thing to talk about aside camp is youth. So I'm also the manager in charge of all the youth programs throughout the city, which is one of my favorite things. So youth in the city is classified as ages 12 to 17. My ask to you is any idea what the 4 main streams recreation engages for youth? So we engage youth 4 different ways. Does anybody have any idea? One of them would be our drop-in programs that I was kind of telling you about with our outdoor pools. Youth rooms, we also employ a lot of youth, a lot of them. Between Leah and I think we have 200 youth staff, so we've got a lot. We also engage them in our youth leadership, so we've got things like Employment 411, which we help youth get a job. So we give them free standard first aid and CPRC, which is a costly certification. So we give that to them for free, help them build their resume, and then they can come work for us. So it works for us. And then we also have registered programs like guitar or art for our youth as well. So those are the 4 different ways we engage youth. In the summer, we do something special. Last 4 years, we called it Youth Rep Week, which was the third week in July, and we did all things youth. This year, we're making it even bigger because we were a little bit bored in the summer. We didn't have enough work to do, so we just blew it up and we made it the entire summer. So it's Youth Rec Summer. We are doing things like going on trips to the Blue Jays games with youth. We're going to the ROM, the Tie Cats, like a VIP, Tie Cats, are they fine? Yes. Tie Cats, a VIP experience to that. Again, some employment workshops, bubble soccer, where they literally put you in a bubble and then you go kick a soccer ball. It's amazing to watch. So we have that happening this summer as well. So we just made it a little bit bigger. So I don't have information yet. It's all coming, but you will see that rolling out soon. So that's huge.
It's really, really good for you. Moving. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
The guitar stuff.
So we just have registered programs that you can register for, and then they can learn to play guitar. That's it.
You just come and.
Yep, we have the guitars,
Yep.
we have the instructors, we pay them.
Oh, you pay instructors? That's.
Ideally.
Yeah.
You do?
We do. We do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, we don't have jam sessions.
Nope.
So the next thing we're talking about is our wading pools. We still have wading pools here in the city of Hamilton, and you have one in your ward that I worked at when it was the old one, and then now it's the new one. Does anybody have an idea what wading pool it is? Pardon? Beach part. Nope, not PH. There's one.
Not the same as a splash.
Yeah.
Nope, not the
different.
same as a splash pad. It has a basin of water in it. Anybody idea? Andy Warburton.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like a splash.
So there's a splash pad and a wading pool there. So yes, so Andy Warburton, and when I first got assigned to it, they're like, oh, it's the address is Regina. I'm like, okay, no problem, no problem. Well, it's actually Copen, Britannia, and you find it right in the middle. And I was like, oh, that's where it is. So I always would always joke, oh, where? Copen, Britannia. So, yeah. Do you know one of our big rules for people swimming in our wading pools? Do you know what rule we always have to enforce?
No running.
Yes.
Spoken like a true lifeguard.
Yes, that's another one. No horseplay.
Keep your kids within arm's reach.
So that's the one that we have to enforce the most, is, these little toddlers. Yes, we want them to experience and have a great time in the water, but we also need them to be safe. So if you can just keep your child within arm's reach, it helps all of us. So that's one of the ones you'll hear if you go for a walk, because there's a little bit of a path to walk at Andy Warburton. You can walk around and hear us saying it. So, because we want to keep everyone safe. And they open June 29th, the wading pools, and they're open from 12 to 4. So, yeah.
The reason they're only open for those hours, Monday to Friday, is because it's a staffed pool. So unlike a splash pad where they push a button, this one has a standing body of water. So a youth staff has to go and guard it. So what you will also see in an extended heat alert, Councillor Huang puts this on our Instagram very well for us, is it's canceled. That's because I can't put a staff out there to stand in that heat.
Yeah.
So that would be the only exception to our extended heat warnings. When I say everything is free, we do pull my wading pool staff off for those.
Yeah, and it's a dump and fill. So the staff are trained and they add the necessary chemicals to it, and we drain it at the end of the shift. So it's not, that body of water is not there. So that's why for that.
Any questions about our wading pool? You do have 2 in your vicinity. Yeah, Gage and Andy Warburton, so that's exciting. Okay, who likes pickleball? None of you? Does that mean I get no complaints from you? I get so many pickleball complaints on a daily basis. Okay.
But then once COVID came, it kind of fell apart, and when it started up again, it was a lot of younger people that were really good players.
Okay.
So
Are you looking for a new home?
not now.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll give you your card. We'll
But
help you.
Reading Valley was supposed to be a senior center.
It was at one point.
It's this point, this risk one, yeah.
That's fair. It was supposed to be one at one point. Yeah. Okay. Pickleball in your area, we had, what's it called? Jenny Florence Parker, Confederation Park pickleball courts. Has anybody seen them? They're beautiful.
Gorgeous.
They're beautiful. They open now in a couple weeks when the weather is consistently nice. And those are free to use. You just register or reserve your spot online and they're free. So that's a great asset. Other outdoor amenities, you've got your King's Forest, beautiful for golf, hiking. I take my dogs here all the time. We've also got our outdoor fitness programs. So we move some of our fitness programs from inside outside. So I think the closest to you might be Battlefield. We run like a Tai Chi in Battlefield Park. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of it from us in recreation in terms of all the information. We always like feedback. So if there's things you're wanting in your community, Leah and I will take that back to the appropriate people. If it's within our team, we will help assist right away. So yeah, open for questions. Any concerns?
Yes,
How do you join bocce?
You have to go directly to the bocce club.
to the club.
So
Yeah.
they're an affiliate with us,
Yeah.
so we help maintain. And we have like a city liaison that works with them, but to actually join it, you have to contact the club. So we would have that information.
Any involved. Kids on these activities to expose them to the children.
Yes, specifically at Dominic Agostino Riverdale. Last summer, we had some issues with our youth behavior and we worked really hard with HPS. We've done some programs with them. We've done some basketball programs, bridging the police and the community kind of together.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well and we've had good success in that Riverdale area. It's a pilot we started there and we're open to using it in other areas. So that's also where our Parkdale youth program came out of. We were finding youth without an adult were coming to our swims and we had to turn them away because they couldn't come without an adult. if they couldn't swim, so that's why we brought in our youth swim. Brought adults to them so that we could supervise them. So yeah, we always work with HPS as much as we can. They've got a youth engagement team that we like to talk to a lot.
Part of this has nothing to do with you, but since you're park people, what is the possibility of ever having a park, like a people park, with also a dog?
There are parameters for that. We are, as much as we love Parks and Rec, we are rec. Parks is park. I don't have as much information as
Part of the
park.
chart.
I like to be Leslie Knope as much as I can. I try and emulate her as much as I can, but no. They do have very specific parameters about where a dog park can be in proximity to people. There is, yeah,
I can answer that later.
okay.
Now, my thing is not about dog parks, but now that the LRT has ripped up so many of these buildings and it looks like a disaster zone. And they've flattened them out, could they not put some sod down and open them up as parks? No, because why? Because it's gonna be years if they ever have an LRT.
Because it looks really bad.
Like,
Since
like we,
gravel, you know, it's.
Well, I'll get to that later.
like we live in Ward 4 and, because of all the stuff around there, our house prices have dropped dramatically in price. And they say it's because of the way especially Main Street, how it looks.
I don't think that that's a Victoria and Leah question.
No.
I'll answer that later. if
But
that's
I
okay.
thought like, they already have fences around them. So could they not put sod down and then, parkettes?
Short answer.
Rec people, not parks people.
Yeah. More questions for our recreation team? No? Well, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, thank you so much.
I don't know. I don't want to give up control.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're here for a little bit, but like you don't have to stay because we're gonna go through all of the other heavy documents.
Back on.
Perfect, awesome. Okay. So when it comes to some of the updates, Pascal was really good with putting a bunch of new events coming up. There's now paint a plow, so it's not just name a plow. You can now paint said plow. The plow, they're submitting your plow design by Monday, May the 18th, and apparently by middle of June-ish is when they will release the report, or sorry, release the winners. The next one is our public art. That's happening on the Pipeline Trail. Apparently, they're waiting for lights. The whole sculpture is beautiful and it's done, except we still have fencing around it, and they need lights to go into it. So the lights are still taking some time. But we're hoping that by summer-ish, we can actually use it again. We actually won a couple of awards. This one is Trees of the World. Yay! And the big reason why we won this award was because we give away free trees. And as well, we have an actual tree master plan that is trying to get Hamilton up to 40% canopy. So these were the two big factors as to how we got this award. But free trees are coming. So if you want a tree, come on down. I'll have to get you the details, but I remember that it is several different locations. It's in the newsletter. Pascal says she'll put it in the newsletter. Also, compost is coming too. So compost, nowhere in Ward 4, you have to go elsewhere. But compost is available now. So there will be days. We'll put it out on our social media and our newsletter for compost, if you need that. Free compost, and it's good compost.
Mhm.
Next, we had a couple of big maintenance projects. So the big one recently was the Red Hill Valley Trail Tunnel. This is the one that goes right towards the underneath the King Street and goes into the Red Hill Valley Bowl. We wanted to the parks team, not recreation team, parks parks team came and let us know that the LED lights inside of the tunnels were just terrible and decrepit. Oh, did we tell them?
Oh, yeah, we told them.
Oh, Pascal told them. Pascal told them that it was dark, decrepit, and then we're like, yes, let's put some more lights in these tunnels. So that's coming. They just have to change these lights. But for some reason, these take forever.
Change the bulb.
A lot apparently, and equipment apparently, so. We also have supported Green Venture. Green Venture is pushing out some eco home kits. So these are home audits. So they have a little bit of a checklist, and what they have is a bit of like a kit that you can go off and do weather stripping on your windows, or it might be foam and pipe insulation. So these are free. So if you're interested in getting some to winter proof, now might be a good time as we're doing spring cleaning and all of that stuff. But these are free kits through Green Venture to help with making your home a lot more energy efficient. In terms of capital projects, the big one, there's several. Let me tell you, this summer, it's gonna be a bit painful. And I'm telling you this, but I know that when I was out knocking on doors in 2022, the #1 biggest complaint was the roadways. Took us 3 years, and we are finally at a time when we can actually get a bunch of roads done. So one of the big ones will be Main and Ottawa. The whole intersection is actually getting ripped up. And that's because we're putting in a massive water main. That water main is going to, one, upgrade, but also it is also part of the LRT enablements. So the intention here is that it'll start probably end of June. And I have been told, and I will be on the construction teams, but that it's a 4-month project. So it'll go into July, August, and then into September, and probably into October. But I have been told it's a 4-month project.
Have you seen along where the timber sits?
Yep.
Queenston?
Queenston?
They've been working on that over a year.
Oh, that's on the next slide.
And the thing is that the one street is still closed.
Yep, so my next slide. Main Street East. Yes, that one, what they've been doing is ripping up all of the water infrastructure, putting in brand new infrastructure. And if you drive down that street now, it looks beautiful. So they've got.
Well, they finished this morning. They finished the concrete.
Excellent, because they were expecting winter of 2027, so they are up 5 months.
That's only the south side. They just started digging on the north side this week.
Yeah, so
So it looks like I say, it's been over a year.
it does take that long.
So that's the scary thing. That's.
Like,
Main and Ottawa is a good go beyond the 4.
I have been on their case about this.
You
And-
know that Filbert. And.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep.
Engineers, so I mean.
Yep.
Know that, you know.
Yeah, so this one, the Main Street was always meant to be spring 2025 until November 2026. So the fact that they're mostly done, they should be close to done, is that they've brought the time frame up a little bit to try and fast track it. Again, that's just we're on their case all the time, trying to get these updates and that sort of thing. So that's why the Main and Ottawa, because it's such a major intersection and it's going to disrupt Memorial, it's going to disrupt Cunningham and
St. John's.
St. John's.
And-
There's
And all of them.
and all of Ottawa Street, exactly. So this is why both myself and Narinder, the Ward 3 councillor, were both on their case to make sure that it's a 4-month.
Because there's a new restaurant that's open on Ottawa.
Oh yeah, the beacon. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it's probably 25 or 30 years ago, the same thing happened on Ottawa Street.
Okay.
For probably more than a year. And so many businesses there went out of business because of
Yeah.
disaster.
So this is where, again, we have been told, promised that it's a 4-month construction, and I'll keep on it. So
How far does it extend that intersection? Is it just that?
it's literally at the Main and Ottawa intersection. So literally it'll probably be like 50 feet off of essentially the box. And then that's about it, and like 50 feet north-south of the box. But it is only that intersection. And the whole reason is because there is a massive, I think it's like a 500 millimeter. It's a pretty huge pipe. Like it's a massively huge pipe that's underneath there, and it hasn't been changed and it hasn't been upgraded. And you guys are not living in the Glow Avenue Parkview area. They've had 3 water main breaks in the last 4 months. 4. Oh, see, that's what I mean. Like,
So just from what I'm gathering from yours, our first clip you showed, it says that basically light rail takes over priority.
it's just because, no, that's not it at all. It's just because it's part of the construction project.
Okay, so because it's part of the light rail. When I would like this, but anyhow,
It's happening, right?
So we've
We're
got-
already seeing that.
what, 4 times that street has been ripped out. Well,
I know.
same spot,
Oh, I know.
everything. Now, last time I was here, you told me they were changing a valve. But they were changing it down more towards that one building on Woodward. Now, last night, I came home and they were digging it up again.
Again,
So I walked up and I said, what are you guys doing?
yeah.
They said, we're changing the valve. I said, if you knew the valve was leaking, why didn't you do it first time?
I think they just discovered that valve was leaking. It was a different valve.
So this one, those pipes along Glow Avenue and around Woodward are from 1888.
Exactly. So why are we doing these down at Ottawa Street and we can wait 5 years for that whole section to get done? Nobody is thinking about that. They're wasting their time.
So, but
Wasting
remember,
money.
LRT is being paid by the province and by the feds. So it's being paid
It's being paid by the taxpayers. Please don't say it's being paid.
correct. It is not coming out of the capital works budget, but I have asked them to change over like the 1888 pipe because I think that's nuts that we haven't changed this pipe over. But
So what's wrong? I read otherwise.
Well, it's the same age, we live on Edgemont. And we had, it was 5 years ago, we had many breaks the same, and we were told that it was from the 1800s, and that would last another 50 years. Because the valve is stuck frozen, so they had to come back and fix it, and it can't. There's more, you know.
so all I know is that our Ward 4 office is actively pushing a lot of these projects because again, the 1888 valve the pipe is actually the major pipe that actually serves the west end. So it's not as if you can shut it off and then just replace it. So it needs to be massively designed and they're trying to also figure out the requirements of how we might grow as a city, because if this is feeding the west end of the city, how big of a pipe do we need? So there is significant.
But my argument is, why didn't they plan this all before they put in this great big thing at the end of the Woodward?
So they did, but again,
Why?
agreed. I'm not sure.
Who's on that team? Say what? Why is this not being planned?
Let's bring water in for another town hall, for the next town hall, and we should definitely hold those questions for them. Yeah, because I think, yeah, you're right. Especially the Glow Avenue people, like I literally, every time I get an email, I'm like, again? So,
Those houses that flood down there? 200 houses get flooded.
oh, I know.
I mean, max that they get from insurance companies, $1,000. We have to sue you, rest. So it's like, why are we waiting? Fix it in one shot. I'm one shot that done.
Would love that. I will tell you, I tell the water guys all the time about this stuff.
So then around the street, they brought in an excavator. Well, to float an excavator in, it's an expensive job.
Agreed.
And all they did was pat down the stuff and then threw it out again. Like, it's the waste is unbelievable that you guys do at that city. It's unbelievable.
Working on it, definitely.
Well,
And is there really gonna be an LRT in our lifetime?
Yes.
You honestly believe that? 'Cause
Yes.
I do not, because Toronto gets all the money. And
No.
once they see how much it's going to cost.
I will tell you, Mayor just told us that she got the agreement already, so the money's
We
coming.
paid that
Which
many
mayor?
times.
This mayor, Mayor Andrew Horvath.
Another mayor.
Very-
So we've already started, like, just as you've talked about the empty lots, all of that demolition is happening. The reason why I can't make it into parks is that there is a lot of stuff that needs to happen on those pieces of property. It's also, none of them have been remediated to be good enough for a park. You don't know what some of the uses might have been. There might be contaminated rubble in all that. I would not feel comfortable putting grass on there and letting people walk on it.
Well, then, I know this has nothing to do with you, but on the mountain brow, that park, on Concession was built with a brand new playground, a new washroom and everything. And surprisingly, when the homes started putting their houses up there, the park was found that the dirt was all contaminated and it's now blocked off. Well, did they not check the dirt before they put a playground in? No.
That one's a little
So
before
this
my
is,
time.
this is like 2 years.
Oh, no, this is only just, this is.
But in terms of master planning part would have been before my time, right?
Like,
So
no, I'm saying it's nothing to do with you, but it's the city. They don't think.
I think we're working on a couple of things. We're trying really hard, definitely, but your concerns are not going on deaf ears. Like, I agree, and I
This
think
is not
that
lie, and I phoned the city so many times. Our street was ripped all up and new piping was put down and then we road. But no piping, that's right, just road. But at the corner of Maple and Edgemont, there was a fire hydrant that's been leaking. So when they were doing it, and there's water running down, I said to the guy, the fire hydrant's been leaking for a couple of years. He says, it's not my problem. They continued, finished the road, the same day they came, ripped up the road and put a new fire hydrant in, the same day. Now, what a waste of money that is.
With all the construction that's going on throughout the city, themselves are being exposed to rodent problems, because these rodents are, should they not bathe before they do construction anymore?
so I think that I can bring that up, but I know that we have a rodent problem around Queen Mary and there's a lot. And then with LRT, what we're doing is we're disturbing all of that earth underneath. So it's something we've brought up in our office. We're trying to figure out how best to navigate that. So it's something I'll bring up and say, is that part of the construction process? Because the way I was meant to understand it was that it was always going to be a necessary issue.
Yeah.
That you're disturbing all of the dens, you're disturbing all of the land underneath it. And you're gonna get,
They're gonna come and live in your backyard.
that's,
That's exactly.
and then on top of that, we have an outrageous feline colony. Like, we have a lot of stray cats apparently, so it's like, I don't know. All I know is I have massive amounts of cats apparently, and then I have massive amounts of rodents, so it's like awesome.
So
So
they spread disease, so that's my main concern. You know, it may seem like a light subject, but it's economically viable to put warfarin out for these creatures.
then I think that people would worry about dogs and cats, actual pets getting into that warfarin.
And boxes for the rats.
So I'll ask about that. Let's ask about that. Pascal?
I think the water main that we're talking about, is it not on the budget for 2020?
Yes, but they keep pushing it, so that's why, because it's
Yeah.
like a massively huge project, right? So
Sure.
the 1888 over by Glow and Woodward is on for 2028, 2029.
Yes, that's on.
But that's because, like, again, I know that we've been asking for it since I got in 2022. But they keep pushing it off because it's so massive a project, right? But we're still on it. There's also who pays for said massive project too, right? But yes, correct. We're gonna bring water in. We'll have water, answer these questions, get them in the firing line, and then see if. I know, I'm in the firing line all the time. Okay, in terms of Barton Street, finally, after 80 billion years, it feels like we are finally getting Barton Street resurfaced. And what's different is there is a difference between what is resurfaced and reconstruction. We're actually getting it resurfaced. So to tell you about this small little area in Ward 4, Ottawa Street to Kenilworth Street, it's only 850 meters. Guess how much it costs to actually just resurface it, which is literally shaving it down and then repaving it and then remarking it. Not a reconstruction, because a reconstruction is like, you gotta replace all the water mains, you gotta do all that stuff. So guess how much just the shave and pave is for 850 meters?
Into it. 1.5.
1.2! The lucky winner of 850 meters, $1.2 million just to shave and pave it. But at least it's getting shaved and paved.
Are we going low?
I hope so. We have this whole social procurement program, but it goes out to tender, right? So we put it out to tender. There's a whole procurement process. Ideally, we would like to go local. There's usually like a weighting rubric that kind of looks at that.
Where are they service?
I don't know.
Find out next meeting.
It's usually asphalt.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till it's tendered before. you
Yeah.
know.
Is it asphalt or the ground that they're putting on?
I expect it to be good asphalt because if I'm spending $1.2 million on 850 meters, I kind of want it to be good
That's what
asphalt.
we got about Red Hill too.
Fair, fair.
Okay.
This one is working in conjunction with all of the roadworks on Barton Street for Ward 3 as well. So everything from Emerald, essentially all the way to Kenilworth is being resurfaced. But again, my only little section of 850 meters, I gotta dole out $1.2 million. Yay. The Ward 3 side is going to be several million. So
And in the road surface,
none.
you've got no,
We do not have a roads resurfacing team anymore. We used to. Probably like
like for filling potholes in there.
for filling potholes we have like a big truck with the asphalt piled into the truck. And then we have guys that will go and fill the pothole and then they got the stamper thingy and they stamp the thingies. So we have those. We don't have the big shave and pave where it's like a massive like plow looking device. And then what it does is it digs in and takes over X amount of asphalt. And then you would put another machine that surface it. We don't have those teams anymore. That was a council decision probably like 3 councils ago. It's been at least 15 years where we haven't had a,
Has anybody out there checked out Mastiff?
I don't know,
So.
I don't know what mastic is.
Stuff. Filling potholes.
Oh, okay. So when it comes to these big projects for road resurfacing, we go third party, tender it. It's done separately. However, when we're doing pothole filling, that's our own teams that will go out. Because again, like I said, it's just a giant truck with a whole pile of asphalt and then they just shovel it. Something. I'm not a road engineer, so I don't really know. All I know is what they do is.
Like, I'm just surprised that they've got, they don't go and get better.
I will tell you that budgets are a big deal. Right? And things cost a lot of money, it costs more. Teams, like the City of Hamilton teams, are put under pressure to try and deliver on less money every single year. And that's because councillors, when we determine the budget, are constantly saying, cut. However, costs go up and up and up. So it's a bit of a rock and a hard place all the time. So unfortunately, city staff bear the brunt of it because they're the ones that have to make do with less. And then they're expected to continue to keep services up. So it's a challenge, it's a rock and a hard place.
I just go over, what's working? You can't keep putting it on.
Agreed.
Right? He's the only guy that's ever said it out there, and I was shocked. He's not even sworn in, he's talking about reality. People can't afford what's going on at City Hall anymore. We can't.
We also understand that we're trying to support and we're trying to keep services up. There's an expectation to keep services up, but the cost of asphalt, concrete, metal, all of the cost of labor goes up and up and up, right?
But they don't think, like, they've got this new department now for empty houses. So they have, like 40 in charge, so they have a manager, they have, I can't think of all the different names that they have. For a very small department, that's not bringing in enough money to even cover their patrons.
So the VUT is bringing in enough money. That was always the intention, was for it to pay for
Well,
itself.
But apparently it's not, from very high, that they're just breaking even sometimes.
The actual payments for these people, where they're from.
It's
The
supposed to
actual-
be from the VUT.
Supposed to be, but where is it actually coming from? I
So-
guarantee you, it's coming from the taxpayer. Everything goes through the tax.
Again, we're trying to find ways to generate revenue that is outside of the property tax base. And as well, when we think about vacant units, these are people that are sitting on houses that could feasibly house people. So this is the intention of the vacant unit tax, is to look at it from how do you generate revenue that is not on the backs of existing taxpayers that are living in their homes. We're thinking about those vacant units that might be owned by investors that just deliberately leave their houses to be vacant. So that was always the intention, because again, you're right, not everything can be on the backs of property taxes, but we also need to start thinking about how are we generating revenue outside of just the regular tax base. So this is why we're spending more on finding out different revenue models. We have asked for full analysis of all of our fees, any of our user fees. We have looked at using the investment revenue that comes from reserves. How do we have those monies? We also have several municipal service corporations that are generating revenue. How do we bring those in and actually have that start to offset the tax base as well? So it's not just a one and done that we're doing.
So have they kept track of people are now renting out the houses that were empty or not?
Yep.
How many have been sold?
Yep.
Maybe they need to put in use.
So they just extended the VUT deadline to May 15th.
Well, because a lot of people, we have a lot of neighbors that are in their 90s, and they thought because they filled it out once, that they do not have to fill it out again.
So many times that they will get a notice in the mail that says, hey, you still need to fill that out. But the minute that they call in, actually the system recognizes that you filled it out last year. So it pre-fills it out, and all you have to do is just give the, yes, I am still in my unit. On the phone, it's all there, right?
But they, like I said, the one lady is 95, she's not gonna do it.
So we
Doesn't
have,
talk to people either.
yeah, so I think that what we're seeing too is that we're getting really close to a like 80-90% compliance,
But
right?
how do you see if they're using hydro and they're using water, there's obviously people living in it, so they can't go
You
that.
can't, so there are privacy laws. So the city of Hamilton actually does not have access to your hydro bill. This is exactly the reason why when Electra decided not to do water billing anymore, we had to send out notices, we had to ask everybody to, because that information is private, so you can't transfer that information between people, between organizations. This is why the VUT cannot go and look at your water bill, cannot look at your hydro bill. That's a privacy breach.
But they will be able to next year because water is.
Water will come,
By the city.
yeah, so that's different for next year, but electricity is not the same organization.
So
So
it's,
how does the city make money? They can build, except for a tax, that, if somebody's not using it, or if they are using it. How does the city make money? Why does it matter to the city? The tax is not being paid on it, taxes aren't being paid, and the city takes that property back and resells it. But I mean, other than that, I don't see where it's advantageous, except that if the city, I know that the city had several vacant units that have been, let's say damaged beyond livability. And they were slowly working on this, and I don't know how much progress they're making on it, because we never hear anything about that either.
So I
That
can
it
tell you
was
the city of Hamilton, so I sit on the board of City Housing Hamilton. We, at one point, 2 years ago, we had 592 units that were vacant. We offered up $5 million to help get them back on track, and now we're down to 197. So we went from 592 to 197, which is a 2% vacancy, which is on par with how city housing providers already do that. So we're continuously keeping on them to ensure that there is consistent turnover, because it's not like static 590 units that are just vacant all the time. It's once you get one on, you might get another one that comes vacant because they're moving out and all of that stuff. But then it's that continuous maintenance program to make sure that all of those units are ready to be taken over. So, and I know that's the second part of your question, but I hope that that kind of answers that. Okay, yes.
When you talk about diversifying your revenue streams, not just in taxes, what are some of the biggest existing sources of their?
Government grants and subsidies. So that's the next biggest one. And then the last, and which is the smallest one, is user fees. So this is why you have recreation that might charge you to use the pool or anything like that. Those are the user fees. So what I know I've been trying to do is I sit on all the boards for all these different municipal service corps that are arm's length, because they are wholly owned by the city of Hamilton. So I'm like, if we can generate more revenue out of those, then that becomes dividends, then that becomes part of the investment revenue that comes back into the city. So these are the things that we work on. Real estate is also another thing. If we have vacant lands, we have vacant units, sell them, get them at part market rates. That also contributes to trying to lower taxes and that sort of thing. So there's a variety of different ways, but we've always used, if you imagine what the basket is, the biggest egg in that basket, and it's a giant ostrich egg, is property taxes. Then you have tiny little quail eggs, and you might have a chicken egg that might be for government subsidies and grants. And then quail eggs are all like the little things, like the user fees, investment income, and all of that stuff. So I'm trying to grow the quail eggs to be chicken eggs. Then that way we can take the ostrich egg down to a whatever the next size down is. So.
And Damon.
Yes, and I sit on AMO, which is the Association of Municipalities Ontario, which is essentially like the advocacy arm of all the municipalities. And so one of the things that we're actively looking at too is the way we've been doing the revenues for municipalities is so broken, because again, we only have the one ostrich egg. And then that one ostrich egg has to pay for the whole basket. But part of that basket, you're supposed to have province pay for some, feds pay for some, but with the province, we're starting to see their trickle effect of paying for municipalities is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then the problems are getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Then you have to pay for all the problems with the one ostrich egg. So that's really challenging that way. So I spend a lot of time also doing that lobbying, like to talk to the province and say, this sucks. Help us pay for opioid addiction, help us with the homelessness, help us with.
But the city, with homelessness, is the city, well, I guess Metro Lakes, they ripped down a lot of those buildings that there was very low rents that people were paying. A lot of those people are out on the street now. They could still be living there because the buildings haven't been ripped down yet, some of them.
So we don't know exactly if all of those people are on the street.
No, we don't.
Right?
There
Yeah.
are some of them. And the other thing is that the people that were living there, they can't find.
Hence the
something
reason
else.
why we're spending a lot of time and effort on streamlining a lot of these processes so we can get housing built faster.
But shouldn't they be worrying about the people that are being displaced before they worry about, let's get this building down, it's gonna be an empty lot for 5 years?
I would love that, because I also have a building, the Ontario Aboriginal Housing, which is at the corner of Main and Kenilworth. You know that 3 out of the 4 corners have been demolished already. They're just waiting on South Pacific to get demolished, but that's already been, the South Pacific people have already moved, right? But OAHS has the building directly behind one of the corners, like beside Russell Flowers. They've been asking to just take a little bit of that portion away from Metrolinx, and Metrolinx won't even do it. If they took that tiny little portion, we'd get 100 units of housing all in that, but again, this is my rock and a hard place. I agree with you. I see that. This is why I'm trying to do that advocacy. A lot of that stuff is out of my hands, but this is why I'm banging on the door, constantly asking people to think a little further
They don't
ahead.
think about the people. They think about money.
So is it the buildings that own the properties?
Yep.
And will own the properties?
Currently, yes, but this is why we're always on their case, because we're like, we know you don't need all of that property. Like, do you really need all of that corner? When really what you're gonna do with it is you're putting a station in the middle of the street, and then all of the infrastructure is running. If you're running a pipe, do you need an entire lot to run a pipe, right? So these are the conversations we're trying to have, is by saying like, let's sit down and let's talk sense here. If you're not going to take the whole property, why not offer it to OAHS, who is willing to pay for it, so that they can build? So right now their building can only allow them to build 40 units, but if they had that tiny little bit more, they could build 100.
But also, a lot of people don't realize that Metrolinx is also taking part of the sidewalks along Main Street.
Correct.
So, like it's gonna be very difficult, like if people with baby buggies and that to
But
to
part of
manage what the
Metrolinx,
sidewalk is now to what it's going to be.
so the construction mitigation will include sidewalk.
Well,
Like,
it will,
yeah.
that's gonna be much smaller than what's there.
We don't know yet, but it's something that I'll be
Well,
advocating
you
for.
can see, because they published in the paper the amount, like just on Main Street there between Ottawa and Hamlet. All the buildings that are gonna lose, sidewalk in front of their stores and that.
And did they, did you talk to them about, push out the rates? And there's a problem on the LRT?
So there's a whole LRT office, so I always go through that.
Take something like Waterloo, I'll take that. And go there. Waterloo couldn't go in and fix their infrastructure without going to see LRT first. Now, have anybody said anything to these guys that we should have our own infrastructure underneath this thing that we got access to?
Yep.
That LRT can't say no.
Well, we have definitely been doing that because it's something part of the LRT process. They're calling it betterments. It's like, I sit on the LRT subcommittee. So part of that is betterments, and the betterments means like, okay, we'll have right of way access for our own infrastructure, but also how are we making it better? Like, I care about subsurface stuff. Like, I really want like bigger pipes. I want bigger pipes so that we can account for growth, either in water, wastewater, sewage, but also in fiber infrastructure, so digital infrastructure. So when I'm on the LRT subcommittee, I'm saying to them, to the LRT team, I care a lot. I love benches and trees and bushes above the surface, but I care very much about what you don't see underneath. So I'm asking for bigger pipes, more dark conduit for IT infrastructure, so in that way we can build a wired city along the 14 kilometers down the spine. But yeah, that's absolutely part of it. There's also, in the LRT agreement, there's also a conflict resolution framework that goes through that too. So there was the whole framework. It will also include a tribunal. So if the parties cannot work something out, there is already a set in place tribunal to help with pushing this through. Okay, I have other slides, so I'm gonna.
So.
Oh, yes.
What are we resurfacing?
Do you want to grab a mic, Pascal? No, okay. So we also have some significant road resurfacing. This will be in more of that Crown Point East and home side neighborhood area. So this is where you have Harmony, Benson, Hope, Cannon. All of these are being resurfaced. Again, this is the resurfacing, the shave and pave. It cost me like $3.4 billion. Put it through. So this one is it's going to be in a bunch of these neighborhoods. We are expecting Rosedale to also have a massive amount in the next year's budget. So I'm looking at our Rosedale people. So there will be more. Yeah, we're looking at Heather, really, just Heather, exactly. Red Hill Valley, there is an adjustment happening on one of the ramps. It's a super elevation. Frankly, it's a lot more technical. Essentially, they are grading it different, essentially.
Like NASCAR.
Like NASCAR. So left hand only, just left hand only. Other construction projects, we have a bunch of sewer stuff that's happening. So again, this summer is going to suck to get around the city, but these are the things that what we're trying to do is get a handle on all of the different projects and then ideally let you guys know. So then that way you'll have a good sense as to where to avoid and all of that stuff. There are updates that happen through the city of Hamilton, so we'll keep this up for you guys, but it's a QR code so you can get actually email alerts on all of the whatever happens at the city. In terms of development, so Bindigan is at the Old St. Helens with the McQuestion Urban Farms. They're already at site plan, which is super exciting. So at some point they will be demolishing that school. 174 Ottawa, this is the one at Ottawa and Cannon. You must have seen it. It is going up really fast, it seems. So that one is 32 units already in construction. 1362 Barton, this is a 6-story, 55-unit seniors affordable housing unit. So we had the groundbreaking. There was a snafu when it came to a noise designation because of the railroad tracks, but ultimately it's really, really, really close to site plan. Really, really close. 211 Melvin is a 7-story weird T-shaped building that faces onto Melvin. So this one's already been conditionally approved. So hopefully we'll see demolition happening at that location really soon. In terms of other development, at Reed and Queenston is the whole Roxborough development. They're moving on to phase 3 and phase 4. So those are there will be maisonettes, like townhouses, stacked townhouses that will be going in. But for me, I really want to get Roxborough Park redeveloped, the actual park, because it's old and it's dated and it doesn't have anything. Yeah.
At Reed and Doug's here, there's an old dry cleaning building. Do you know what's going on with that?
Oh yeah, that's all boarded up over there, isn't
Well,
it?
sometimes people just keep tearing the boards off, and I'm sure it's full of mice and rats and who knows what living there.
So that's not owned by the city. That's a private owner. This is one of those, we ought to be making money off of it with the vacant unit tax if it's left vacant, right? So I would say I don't know about that particular building because it's not owned by the city.
It's a fire.
I got a lot of places that are vacant that are fires looking to happen. So hence the reason why we want to try and get them into compliance as soon as possible, right? So, yeah.
We can flag it to bylaw for you, or just talk to us after. And then we let them know. what to look for.
It already is. I've called, and when I called,
Okay.
said somebody else had called. They just keep breaking a new area or two. Somebody will come along and board it up, and then they'll break something else out.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm more concerned with the actual park, because then that park is hasn't been redeveloped in a really long time. And because there's so many people moving into that Roxborough Park area, like I think we should have nice things. So this is why I want to make sure.
Take it back to the park.
Bylaw, well, we'll make a note and we'll follow up too. So, yeah. Okay, yes.
Out of, in that project, how many of those units are actually?
The majority are, so the maisonettes are in and around 400 to 600,000. And the reason why was because Sam Marula, the previous Ward 4 councillor, had put in a first-time home buyers program with the developer. So it actually waived development fees. It knocked off a $30,000 to $50,000 off the price. So those ones are all considered affordable.
400,000 to 600,000.
Yeah. Are all considered affordable.
Or do you mean like city housing?
I meant, yeah,
Yes.
what about rentals?
Oh, so there's a whole rental tower. So there are 3 condo towers there. You have City Housing Hamilton, which has 8 Roxanne, which is right at the front there. That's City Housing owned. But then the ones that the Roxborough Park Development team own, they have 3 condo towers on the backside. One of them is completely rentals. They're all market. So they'll probably, I think that they did take advantage, and they only have 30% of those are considered affordable. So they're at market rate, so they might be $800 to $1,200 for them. Those are considered affordable.
Okay, and don't developers actually have to still supply or develop parklands in their development? So shouldn't they be on the hook for Roxborough Park?
Yeah. Yeah. I won't spare you the gory details. Let me just say that there is a disagreement between the developers and us, because we believe that they ought to be paying, I think it was like $4 million for the park. And they said no, because we ought, like, honestly, it's a bit of a novella, popcorn eating novella on like how much of this back and forth has been happening. So that's normally the plan. There is a parkland dedication. Developers are supposed to pay that. At the Roxborough Park development, it hasn't happened. And then there's a bit of this. And then I still have to see those guys all the time. And I'm still like, hey, about that. They're like, hey, about the other thing. So it's a bit complicated in that. But yes, Heather, that's normally how that happens. It's just not happening here. Okay. This is why we need development charges. But anyway, that's a whole other story. There's been a lot of actual commercial development in Ward 4, surprisingly. This one, 1390 Burlington, this is DeFasco is putting up a new sort of workshop space. 1565, that's Strat Barton Mall. That's a Freshco on Barton Street, right beside Mahoney Park. They're actually redoing all of that. So the Freshco is going to get a brand new facade. The Freshco inside is getting updated, but then they're going to put a Tim Hortons drive-through right at the street. So then there's going to be that too.
Are they getting rid of the one across the street?
Yeah, apparently the owner is moving from the one across the street to the new Tim Hortons that they're gonna build with a drive-through, because the one across the street doesn't have a drive-through. So I think that what they're doing is they're just moving their location.
They're getting rid of.
Well, still happening. Still happening. We also have 1850 Barton. This is the old Princess Auto. So this one is going to be essentially two buildings. They're going to take the existing Princess Auto and make it into a storage unit. And then in the parking lot, you know how the Princess Auto has a really big parking lot? They're going to build another storage unit. So it's two storage units that will be there. 1925 Barton is the Tandet, which is across from Princess Auto, across from the Buddy's Submarine. They're doing an expansion of their building. 3050 Parkdale is Eastgate Ford. They wanna expand their leased, not the least, it's the previous owned. So you have the brand new dealership, and then right beside it is previously owned, and then so it's like a trailer looking. They're going to expand that, and they're going to make it all look pretty. So Eastgate Ford is going to look different soon. 49 Dunbar is in the industrial section. They're going to add on to their building. So yeah, in Ward 4, there's been a bunch of commercial developments. Interesting. In terms of what's coming up, there's a youth town hall. So kind of what Victoria talked about, but different. The youth town hall is really trying to get youth talking about democracy, talking about what happens at City Hall. So that's happening on May the 9th. So if you have youth that are interested in politics or interested in municipal governance or just interested in getting involved, I think that that's going to be a pretty fun day. So Hungry is happening on May the 9th. Also, food trucks and Ottawa Street. It's going to be fun. Thrift Crawl happens at the exact same time. So Thrift Crawl is Ottawa Street. They actually make it similar to a Super Crawl, but it's all for thrifting. It's kind of fun. And then the Ottawa Street BIA is also doing a drive-in night. No, Tanya, is that? Oh yeah, that's on.
The dress in the parking lot.
That's right. Yes, that's right. So the Ottawa Street BIA is doing a drive-in night. So, what else have we got? These are environmentally things. So if you're interested in what AMD ArcelorMittal DeFasco is doing, they have a community liaison committee. That's happening May the 20th. Rain Carbon is one of our carbon black facilities. That's on May 21st. Rosedale, is hosting their association night, the second Tuesday
And
here.
actually, can I just point something out
Yeah.
as well? On June the 9th, the Rosedale neighborhood will be having their multifamily garage sales
Oh,
as well.
all right, that's gotta go in our newsletter.
Yeah, when is this, July 9th?
No,
June
June.
June
No,
9th.
The first Saturday in June, I think maybe it's June 6th, I don't remember.
Okay.
June 9th is my son's birthday, so it's.
It's probably not, it's a problem.
It's the first Saturday in June.
Okay, first Saturday in June. And then, and the election is coming up, so put your names on the elections list. So this is we're gonna be constantly pushing out to make sure that you guys are on the voters list, but then any information that you might have about the elections.
Voters, the voters list this year comes from Elections Ontario, not the city of Hamilton.
Yes.
but the trustees is coming from the city. So that's why it's important to get on the voters list to the permission.
You should have just said that into the microphone. Now who's gonna hear you?
Through you.
Oh, okay.
Through you, Chair.
Oh, okay. So to get on the voters list, it's done through Elections Ontario, but the trustees, they're going to be on the city of Hamilton's list. So best to get on the voters list so you'll get all of the right information. Technically not right now. We still have trustees.
For now.
Yeah, for now. For now we do. Yes. And that's it. Any other questions? I know we've been taking questions all along the way.
Elections,
Go back to elections.
what can you and not do?
What can I,
What can
sorry,
you do and not do during the election?
me, myself?
Yes, as a counselor.
Do you want to, Pascal's asking me hard questions. So in terms of what I can and cannot do, I am still a city councillor up until November. So even past the election day. So when I'm out here and I'm speaking to you today, I am speaking to you as your city councillor. I will tell you full disclosure, I am planning on nominating again to try and get reelected. But those activities are separate and distinct and different from me as a city councillor. So here we are speaking in council business, ward business, so therefore I have my city councillor hat on. If I am out in the community and I talk to you at the Metro, for example, I may or may not have my campaigning hat on. So that's just so that you guys know, in terms of in front of you, I am speaking to you as a city councillor and I am still your city councillor until November. In terms of what I can do, I can still pass motions, I can still do all of that work, but I have a deadline to do that. So council cannot do any of the more council-y business until we do business up until the end of August. After that point, we have meetings, we have decisions, but not the same as passing motions, not the same as like determining directions or anything like that. So I have a weird deadline of August to council-y business. Hope that makes sense. I'm kind of clear on that. The city clerk kind of tells me what I can and cannot do. So, but in terms of me being in front of you, I am in front of you up until November as your city councillor. And whether I get in or I don't, I am your city councillor until November. Hope that makes sense. Okay. And then what else do I have to tell?
We're gonna have a town hall.
Yes. So we're gonna have several town halls. We're gonna have a town hall for Maine and Ottawa, and that one is probably mid-June, because that's when we're gonna find out all the construction things. So because construction will happen end of June, we wanted to make sure everybody knew. That's going to be a virtual town hall. The intention is to keep that on the interwebs for at least 4 months. So that way people can refer back to it and all of that stuff. We will have another town hall in July. That one is usually our pool party one, and that one is again casual, but again, I'm doing that pool party as your city councillor and not as a candidate. So
Because we will be there to answer
questions.
and answers.
Yes.
Related to the words.
Yes, and we usually invite our friends from rec, and we invite our friends from Hamilton Youth, we invite our friends from a lot of different organizations, so then that way everybody gets a chance to talk to a bunch of these organizations. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask one question about the water off the roof. Is that being out on hold? Or are they still going to start charging us
Oh, stormwater.
stormwater?
Okay, so stormwater is actually moving to January of 2027.
January 27th?
Yeah.
That's when they'll start charging us for it?
Yeah. But I think in the urban Ward 4, we probably won't see much of a charge, really. A lot of the stormwater will be mostly for rural, for bigger plots of land. In fact, we'll probably, in all honesty, in the urban part, we will probably see a savings. That's just how the reports are working out, that in terms of stormwater fees, because of how dense we are, because of how close to our neighbors we are, the surfaceable area is negligible, so we might even see a savings. So this is why there's a weird divide between urban councillors and rural councillors.
So when does the water bill start?
Water billing starts now. You should be seeing it. You should see you should see your bill coming from the Hamilton utility billing, so hub. You should start seeing that. Okay. Yes. Heather.
On it, hate to kick him at first, but Kenilworth Avenue.
Yes.
Now, because of the Sherman access being closed, are they gonna at least fill all those potholes?
Yes. I've been on everyone's case about that.
I noticed they did under the bridge,
Yeah.
but
No, I told them that, especially that one part where you connect from top of the mountain to like the connection point, there's like a weird hairpin turn. That area is terrible. It's like slalom driving. Yes. So short answer is potholes will be filled at some point. I don't know when. Yes. Tom Jackson and I, Ward 6 councillor and I, have already told the roads team multiple times in variety of emails that the whole thing needs to get repaved and redone. So that one, they have assured me it is a 2027 project because they have missed the mark for this summer to do it. So it is, I was like, I'll give you money. I have work money. We'll make it happen, prioritize it. Both Tom and I have been asking for this. So it is a 2027 project. But they are patching the potholes for sure.
I thought they were speed bumps.
They're called speed limiters, in fact, because you have to drive all around it, so.
The first water hub bill is gonna start in late April and throughout the beginning of May.
Okay, so
And then your final
soon-ish.
Electra's utilities bill for water charges will include a notice of the transition of water billing to that.
Okay,
There's no increase.
okay.
Very good.
So,
Any
Thanks to Leah and Victoria for hanging out.
Thanks for
having.
And we're glad we're not the different water guys.
Yeah.
And we're the pool water guys. You won't be there for the next issue.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you so much for coming. Please take some cookies, some Roma pizza. Otherwise, we're gonna, we gotta take it home. So. Yeah. Oh. Please help me. Help me, please. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.